Okay, before you all start cutting, I just wanted to give you a little video about frame sizes. Now, these are 15cm frames that I've purchased from eBay. And I think most of my testers, or certainly the testers in the UK, have purchased from the same place, so all of our frames are pretty much the same size. However, I have discovered that some of the ladies that have tested the pattern from other countries have frames that are slightly different, not necessarily in this measurement, but in this measurement. So I want to show you how to amend the pattern to fit a frame that's not this size. Now, they come in centimetres, they're measured in centimetres, but the length of the frame here from the top corner to the bottom of the hinge, it's approximately 2 inches, just a little less than 2 inches. And it's 6 inches across the top. Now, your two pieces, I've cut my two pieces of my pattern, and I've drawn in, just because this is how I make sure that my frame is going to fit. I've drawn in the seam allowance, so I've given myself a 1/4 inch line on both of those diagonals and across the top. Now, if I position my frame centrally, and I know it's centrally because the two little knobbles that open the kiss frame will be sitting, I'm going to turn this around slightly so that I can actually see it because it's away from me, will be sitting on that central line. And what you should have is a 1/4 inch gap at this end, because that's where your seam allowance is. And then when you turn the frame round and pop the corner the corner of the frame into that junction where your two lots of seam allowance are, your pattern should come about a 1/4 inch below that bottom hole. And what you're aiming for, and this is only tacked in, is for once the fabric has been tacked to the frame, that your central seam down your lining pieces should sit exactly on your hinge. So your hinges will be beautifully central on your pocket linings. If you're going to alter the outside at all, then you also need to alter the lining pieces. So if you find that you need to extend this, all you need to do is extend this line out and bring it in again to this point here, to the point where the diagonal lines meet the sort of rectangle on the bottom. So if you find that your frame is longer and you need to make this part longer, you can take it out as far as you need to take it and then bring it back in to that junction there. So do that before you start cutting your fabrics to make sure that your frame will fit into your Persephone, because not all frames are made equal. I didn't realise that all frames are different, and it's caused me a great deal of angst trying to figure out how to make this work. And I've made lots of sort of sample bits like this to try and make it work, and realised that actually I can't do a pattern that will fit every single frame. What I can do is give you the information that you need to amend this pattern to make it fit your frame. So my frame is, let me just turn my rule around, 6 inches wide, and it is literally just shy of 2 inches from the top to the bottom. It's about 1 5/8 of an inch from the top to the bottom hole of my sewing frame. So that gives you and this frame will fit into this pattern piece from the pattern. Anything that's got a longer side, you will need to amend slightly by adding a little length to this side and bringing it back into the middle. What you need is, with your corner of your frame sitting up in that junction, for there to be a 1/4 inch from the bottom hole to the edge of your pattern. Hopefully that makes sense. And I hope that most frames will be of a similar size, so they shouldn't matter. So you should be okay with fitting them. I know some of the ladies in Canada had quite long sides on their frame, so they've had to alter the pattern accordingly. So that's how you alter the pattern to suit your frame if your frame isn't the same size as mine.